Alright, y'all, so this is the evidence guide. So there are currently 16 ghosts in the game, and they're pretty hard to tell apart when it comes to no evidence, if you're a beginner. So we're gonna start off with the first ghost, which is at the very top. It's a banshee. So a banshee is pretty simple to tell apart in multiplayer though. So but banshee can actually only target one player in the game. So if a player goes inside this house, then the player will be the target for the rest of the game. And if other players are inside, it'll only try to kill that player that went inside first and is the target. So if that player walks out and the other players go in, it'll try to target one player temporarily until the other player goes inside the house. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's basically just a targeting ghost that only tries to kill one player at a time. So the next ghost is a demon. It makes a lot of manifestations and a lot of interactions, so be careful with the demon. So a demon actually has an increased range of a crucifix. A crucifix is something that can be used to like stop the ghost. I don't have one right now, but a crucifix can be placed double the range, so the normal crucifix but double. So if it's burned, then that means it's a demon. So for a faker, faker can be heard as like faking, like mimicking. So a faker can like mimic footsteps, and it can also mimic the EMF reader. It'll mimic the EMF reader at a lower tone, not a higher tone. So if you hear anything at a higher tone, it's not mimicking it. So if it is a lower tone, it's a faker. For Harrow, it's very fast around its room. It speeds up when it's around its room. If it walks away from its room, it slows down. So that's easy to tell. And it's very active when you're kind of close to the room. For Lamet and Yuri, these two ghosts, they do not speed up. There's something called line of sight, if you do not know. And when you're in the line of sight of the ghost will speed up, except for Lamet and Yuri. Harrow technically, but that does speed up when it's getting close to the ghost room. So, Lamet. If you're in a hunt, a Lamet will try to like fake the hunt, and it'll fake its ending. So if you're currently like running around inside and you don't hear the footsteps anymore and it's right next to you, if it's just like only heart beating, if you only hear the heartbeat, then that means it's a Lamet. For Mare, a mare has double range of blowing out candles, so if you get a candle that's blowing out right there, and it's also blown out over there at the same time, that means it's a mare. And a mare is very active in the dark. A nook. A nook is very roamy, just like the Yama and just like the Wrath. So a nook will move to the room that has the most items in it. Like this, it would be the dining room. So it'll move to the one with the most items. So if you place a bunch of items in another room, it'll move to that room. That's how you can check for Nook. Poltergeist. Poltergeist and Ayama have different blinks. So every single other ghost has the same blink, except for Poltergeist and Yama. Poltergeist has a severely faster blink, and you can tell it during a hunt. And Yama has a tiny slower blink, so it's a tiny bit slower. So not the speed, but the blink. So Poltergeist has a faster blink, and it's also very interactive. So it'll like make a lot of manifestations, it'll move stuff around, it'll throw things. So that's a Poltergeist. A Revenant is very fast when it's in the line of sight. So if it's in the line of sight of the player, it's going to get very fast. If you smudge it or incense it, then it'll slow down severely fast. Or from severely fast to severely slow. For Shade, it does not hunt a lot. A Shade will probably step in a salt. If you place salt in a ghost room, it'll step in it like very slowly. So after like 1 or 2 minutes, it's going to step in the salt. And then take another 2 minutes, it's going to step in the other salt. So for a spirit is kind of interactive, just not that much. It does speed up, And a spirit, when used the incense burner, it's going to slow down almost to a halt. Almost, meaning that it'll still slowly inch. It'll slowly go fast. Or it'll slowly move. For spirit, also if you incense the ghost room, which you can incense the ghost room, which if you did not know, and incensing the ghost room will delay or just not make the ghost hunt for 2 minutes. So a spirit makes the ghost hunt for not 3, so it doesn't hunt for 3 minutes. A strigoi, in terms of a strigoi turns on the water a lot, and it messes with the water. And if it's close to the water, it'll get fast. And in terms of blinking, if there's no water on, it's very slow in blinking. So for strigoi, it'll turn the water on a lot. Wrath, it's very roamy, more than Yama and close to Nook. And a wrath kind of floats. People depict it as floating, but a wrath does not step in salt, so it'll never step in salt. A Yama is very roamy, and it does switch rooms a lot, and it has a slow blink. That's it, basically. A Yuri also does not speed up, just like the Lamette. And a Yuri does not see you, like in terms of if you were to go to a wall, like this wall, and the ghost is coming down from that staircase, and it walks straight past you, it means it's a Yuri. Because if there's no, like, I'm gonna say just like loud attracting items near you, then it's not gonna see you. So if you're quiet and just standing still, if you do move your character like this, it's not gonna see you, but if you move it like this excessively, it will see you. So that's a Yuri. So for Zozo, it's very unique. It'll roar if you stare at it for more than 5 seconds on no sanity mode, and if you have no sanity. So if you do have 100% sanity like this, you have to stare at it for 10 seconds. So 10 seconds you stare at it, then it roars and it becomes a lot faster. So if you stare at a Zozo for like in the midst of the 5 seconds or 10 seconds you stare at it, it will become very slow. But once those 5 seconds or 10 seconds are up, it'll become very fast.